Hey guys, Michal Hucko here and welcome back to the tutorial for Python beginners where we cover some Python basics. So in previous videos we talk about data types, mathematical operations, string operations, we covered lists, we covered functions, we covered the loops, conditions, we also talk about the tuples, and now it's the right time to talk about the dictionaries. Now dictionary is another data type for storing multiple values, so let's just dive into the examples in the Python in the Visual Studio Code. So opening the hands-on Py, let's define our first tuple. Again, we need to make up some descriptive name for the variable, so let's call it ages dictionary, where where we will set up our first dictionary ever. Now, the dictionary is specified with these curly brackets. Now we have the square brackets for the lists, we have the round brackets for tuples, and curly brackets are for the dictionaries. Now, dictionary is referred as a key value storage. So the elements of the dictionary are consisting of keys and values. Now, every key must be of immutable type, right? So, for example, string or tuple or something like this. And the key can also be consisting of some reserved keywords. I will show you examples. Now, the value part can be whatever we want. In the dictionary, the value part can also be another dictionary. So we can create the nested dictionaries. So right now, let's define our first ages dictionary by specifying the names and the corresponding ages. So let's start with my name, Michal, and with my age, 24. Let's add one more guy, let's say Felipe, and the age of 33, right? So this is our first dictionary. Now when we print the type of the ages variable, so let's first define the dictionary and now run the dictionary, we can see that the class is a dictionary. Now, dictionaries are quite different compared to the lists and tuples with with the way how we can access the elements. But before I show you the access to elements, let's jump into more complicated example of the dictionary. I prepared some in the dictionary.py file, which you can find in the GitHub repository in the description below. So let's create this mixed dictionary. And as you can see, except the Michal and Felipe, we have also added some other elements. For example, this element has the key of 0, which is integer, and the value of 0, which is a string. So you can mix the types of the keys and also of the values. So this is everything you can see here in this dictionary is 100% valid. So besides the strings, the integers, you can also specify a boolean as a key, and now this can be very confusing, so please don't do it mostly. Try to think about something different, but when there is no way, you have to specify it like this. So this element has the key of value true and the value of value true as a string. The same for false, where the key is the false while the value is true, and you can also use the reserved keyword like this, int. Now, if you run this and you run mixdict, you can see there is absolutely no problem for outputting this. And this is fine, because as you can see, this int was replaced with this class int in case of Python, because Python is internally translating this reserved keyword into this value. So beware of using reserved keywords in your dictionaries. Now, how do we access elements in the tuple? And you can access the values through the keys. So for example, if you want to get my age, you are calling the mixdict while specifying the key in the round bracket, in the square brackets. So, but beware the numbers. So for example, I specify the key of 0, and when I call mixed dictionary type with the square brackets and the 0 inside it, I refer to key, not to the position. You cannot refer to a position of the element within the dictionary with the number in the square brackets for the dictionary. So beware the biggest difference between the lists and the dictionaries. We cannot refer to a position in the dictionary. Now the same for the true and for int. Everything from this is working. Feel free to try it in your Python interpreter. Now, There is a problem if you are trying to access the key which doesn't exist. So for example, let's access the John in the mixed dictionary. And as you can see, this will cause a key error. Now the key error is one of the common mistakes in Python programming, and you will meet with it anywhere. The key error means you are trying to access an element by key which doesn't exist in the given dictionary. So exactly as in this case. The John key is nowhere in the mixed dictionary. So I will comment it out for you. Sorry. And we can continue. You can easily add new key values into the dictionary as simple as this. So let's say we want to add there the John. So you call the dictionary, you write the dictionary name, you add the square brackets, add the new key, and add the new value inside there. You can also adjust existing keys by, let's say, changing the Felipe value from 32 up to 33. Yes, so Felipe is getting older. Now you can also output the mixed dictionary like this. So if I run this, you can see John has been added and the Felipe value has been adjusted to 33. You can also delete key simply by calling del mixed dictionary square brackets and the name of the key you want to delete. Now you can put a dictionary into dictionaries, I mentioned. So let's jump into the example of nested dictionary. So here we have some complicated dictionary which specifies a person, me. So the name is Michal, surname is Hutsko, languages is a list, now careful, list of strings which refers to languages which I like. Now my Instagram, now my address. This is not my real address, so don't try to contact me. City, New York, street, and street number. So as you can see, the address key refers to a value of another dictionary. And now, how can we access these elements? Imagine you want to know my least favorite language from the favorite languages. So you go to person, which refers to the name of the dictionary. Now you go to a specific key, in this case the languages, and you want to get the last one. So now you are accessing the list, which means you need to use the positional index. For this reason, the -1 is working. And now the person, for example, if you want to know the street where I live, now you go to person, this is the dictionary, you retrieve the value of the address, which is another dictionary, and then you again retrieve the value of the key street within the key address in the person dictionary. Now this can be quite confusing, but it makes sense because there is a lot of information, new information for you, so feel free to stop the video, create the dictionary with your data. Now you have to be careful while specifying the dictionary because after each key there must be a comma. So basically the same practice is being used in lists, so don't forget the comma. When you don't put there the comma, the Python interpreter will return an error. So for example, when you run it like this, enter, sorry, I didn't delete anything. So when you run it like this, you see syntax error, right? So don't do it. Now let's go next. I mentioned that the key value, well, this is a tricky one. The keys in the dictionary can be all immutable objects, right? Well, the truth is that can be all hashable objects, but we didn't call about hashing, so let's just stay with the immutable objects. In the previous video, I mentioned that the tuples are the immutable object. It makes them 100% valid key in the dictionary, which means you can create a dictionary like this, by specifying the key as a tuple. Now you can retrieve the key by retrieve the value by calling the name of the dictionary and the name of the key as this. So this, we will first run the definition, and now we can retrieve the value with this. Amazing. Now let's go to some dictionary operations. Again, I specify the same dictionary. I will run it, and you can call a len, which returns the length of the dictionary, in this case the number of keys which are in the dictionary. You can also retrieve value by specifying the key in the function called get. So this is exactly the same as if you will call the name of the dictionary with the square brackets, but with the difference that these will not raise any error. So for example, if I run this, it will return Michael, but if I want to retrieve a John key, which is not there, it won't return anything. So the return type is none, but no exception error has been risen. So, but the biggest advantage of this is that you can specify a default return value. So for example, we want to retrieve non-existing key from the person dictionary. And if the non-existing key doesn't reside in the dictionary, we want to return please no. And this can be many times helpful, and it's used through all the frameworks which we will use. So please keep this in mind, that there is a default return value for returning the values of the dictionary key. Now, when you call items upon a dictionary, this will return list of tuples with the key values within the dictionary. So as you can see, this is a list. Yes, it starts here. This item doesn't matter. You can even put it like this to make it more readable. So convert it to list. And as you can see, this whole thing is a list, and the first item is the key name and the value Michal in a tuple, and so on and so on. The interesting is the address one. So this whole thing is a tuple with the first item being the address and the second item being the another dictionary. Now, having these items function makes it easy to traverse through the whole dictionary in a function. Now, you can go in the fourth cycle, going through all the keys and values, and through each iteration, you will unpack. You remember unpacking from the last video, now we are using it. So in the first iteration, we are unpacking the value of tuple into key and value, and then we are printing it out. And we are doing it for each of the element. Now, and this can be helpful in this fourth cycle. So if I run this fourth cycle, you will see that it will return the key, name, stuff, the value, blah, 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 blah. At the end, address is the key and the value is the whole dictionary. So keep in mind, traversing through the dictionary will return the tuples, which can be unpacked into the variables in the fourth cycle. Now we have also the keys function, which will return the keys of the dictionary. So again, the keys, you can convert it into list. The same for values. Now there is a pop function which will return the item. So for example, if I run the name, it will return the Michal, because that is the name from the dictionary, the value from the dictionary. But right now it also deleted the key from the dictionary, so there is no more Michal inside there. You can also pop the whole item, which will return the item from the end with the whole key as a whole tuple. You can assign it to two variables. Again, in this case, it was deleted at the end of the dictionary. Fairly simple. Okay guys, these were the dictionaries. I hope you learned something new. I showed you how to specify a dictionary, some functions with the dictionary, use cases with the dictionary. We will use the dictionaries through the rest of our courses. Thank you very much for joining this video. I hope I see you guys in the next one.